It was almost 2 years ago today that we heard the shocking news of an unimaginable tragedy sweeping a small US town in Connecticut. Newtown was devastated when a lone gunman stormed Sandy Hook Elementary School and opened fire. 20-year-old Adam Lanza was armed with an assault rifle and 2 handguns.
28 people died that day, including 20 children aged 6 and 7. But is anything being learned from tragedies like this, and has the culture that allowed it to happen now changed? Juliana Crowder joins us now from Austin, Texas. She's the founder of a group called A Girl and a Gun Shooting Lead. Juliana, good morning to you. Thanks for your time. Now, we see that gun-related incidents just continue every day, unabated, to happen there in the United States. It appears that nothing much is changing when it comes to gun control, despite the deaths that we keep hearing about. Would you agree?
No, gun control is not the issue. We have laws in place, and it's criminals that continue to choose to break those laws. So as somebody who is a law-abiding citizen, I'm living within the gun control that has been placed on me. And I'm also living within the rights of my Constitution. And those are the issues that we have to deal with, are criminals, not the law-abiding citizen.
Juliana, in the USA, 3 people per 100,000 people are killed by guns. In comparable countries that have stricter gun controls, like Australia and the UK, it's 0.07 and 0.14 respectively. So you're about 20 times more likely to be killed by a gun in the USA. Is it not feasible that there's a link between gun control and reducing gun deaths?
Absolutely not. Actually, we have studies that will tell you that it's the exact opposite. With gun ownership comes actually a reduce in crime.
Oh, how's that so?
And in your country, I'd be interested to know. Well, I'd be interested to know in your country, what is the death rate of people being stabbed to death or hit with blunt objects? So it's all relative information.
But how do guns prevent people being killed from guns?
Well, if I'm being attacked by somebody that has, want to rape or murder me, and I have a firearm that I can use to defend myself, that is an option that has been given to me by, my Constitution, is a means of self-defense.
But that's if you're able to actually get your gun to use it in defence. Are you not concerned at all that that gun would then be used to turn on you and to whoever else might be around you?
Absolutely not, because I am an educated firearms owner, and because I've chosen that tool as a means of self-defense, I'm confident in my use and my ability to hang on to it and my ability to use it properly when it is justified, and when it's not, I have other options available to me.
Right. Okay. I'm just looking through some of the gun massacres that have occurred in the US. The Aurora Cinema shooting, Columbine, Atlanta, Nickel Mines, Chicago, Virginia Tech, Omaha, DeKalb, Binghamton, Fort Hood, 2014, all in the last sort of 15 years. Not one of those gun people was stopped by someone with a gun.
And we know that there are more guns in America than people.
Well, I'd like to point out that every one of those places that you named off were gun-free zones, and citizens were not allowed to defend themselves with their self-defense tool of choice.
Well, Fort Hood 2014 was certainly a gun zone.
Gun-free zone. Military installations, we are not allowed to have concealed handguns that are loaded. That was a gun-free zone, absolutely.
Now, you teach girls as young as 8 how to shoot. Why do pre-teen girls need these sorts of skills? They can't actually own a gun themselves.
Well, there's many more reasons to own firearms than just the self-defense issue. There is a whole sporting culture. We're athletes. We have many different venues where we shoot guns for score, for competition, for enjoyment, target practice. So there's many applications for the firearms, not just what people seem to be focusing on, which is, one, the very important opportunity of self-defense, but 2, how criminals choose to use them. There's a very rich community here in America that shooting is their sport, and they're very good at it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone disputes the right of people, of course, to use guns for sporting or for, agricultural purposes. But how is it that we account for that incredibly elevated rate of gun violence in the States. Now, you said that if it weren't guns, it'd be something else. But in America, it's both the something else and guns.
You know, it is a part of our culture. It's a part of our heritage that firearms was given to us by our founding fathers. And for those of us that really, truly appreciate and understand their use and their purpose, it is not something that we're willing to give up. It makes us a free people, and by having those firearms available to us is what makes us different from the rest of the world, and that's not something we're willing to compromise on.
Juliana, what are your thoughts about how gun crime and massacres like at Sandy Hook could be reduced in America? What's the answer?
You know, it's not a gun control issue, and I think that's very fair to say. It's really a mental health issue. And that horrific crime was committed, you know, by a madman. And we have other issues at hand in our communities, in our government that need to be dealt with. You know, people that need help and resources.
Yeah.
It is not about punishing the good citizens of our country that are following the rules and taking away things that are important to them. It's about getting people help and following the laws that we already have that actually do work when they are used.
If that madman, and I agree with you that there are many, many underlying issues, including, you know, mental health being one of them. But if that madman had only had a knife, do you really think he would have killed that many kids before someone took him out?
If that madman had been in I mean, he went into a gun-free zone. He went into a weapons-free zone.
No,
we're not allowed to
Yeah, but he
have
had
knives in
three
our
guns.
schools.
He had three
The
guns.
question is not whether it was a gun-free zone. If he'd only had a knife, would he have got through that much slaughter?
If I was... you know what? I can't answer that question about the what ifs, but I'll tell you what, if that school administrator who met him at the door would have been able to have some tool of self-defense, whether it be a knife or a firearm, she would have been able to stop it immediately, and nothing would have happened there.
By the way, the Constitution mentions having guns for the purposes of raising a militia in order to, you know, stop foreign invasions and takeovers of the American way of life. So, you know, I think there's a big challenge to be had there.
When was the, you know, we don't get invaded very often, so, you know, I mean, it's kind of working for us a little bit.
All right, Juliana, thank you.
All right, thanks, Juliana. See you. This makes a point. They haven't been invaded for a while.
So
absolutely.
it must be working.